Hey, this is John Hope Bryan, and this is Money and Wealth. The theme of this week's episode is the pain, power, and promise of credit scores and how not to blow yourself up. So, here is the trending topic. Yo Gotti almost got it, almost got financially shot. And my man was teased, but I am actually applauding him. He, in addition to being a very talented artist, when you're a rapper or an artist, particularly rappers, because of the fluidity of their art form and the hustle community that it normally emanates from, they start to want to include and expand that hustle to other art forms, and see themselves as business people and entrepreneurs, even. Yes, those two things are different. More naturally than just a recording artist might see themselves as something more than just a very talented singer. I don't know what that is. I'll get into that maybe in a separate episode. But I found about a lot more grittiness with the rappers who come up who think that immediately they can be a businessman, and many of them are businesswomen, and many of them have been. And to Yo Gotti's credit, my man went on to create several businesses that spin off of his successful career as a rapper, and many of them did actually pretty dang gone well, it appears. But keep in mind, those were in the creative realms. He did that in part because it built on what he already knew well, and his brand would allow him to amplify that. And but when he got off into real estate, well, it didn't go so well. He'd buy a house, um, and he was like, "This is cool," and he rehabbed that house. And then when he went on tour, he went buy another house and pay cash for it, as I understand it. Again, so far so good, and rehab that house and turn it into a business, renting it or whatever, selling it, I guess. And hopefully he kept it because I like to buy and hold. That's my philosophy. They aren't growing any more land. And my man did this 15 times. Bought, went on tour and bought homes, rehabbed them, and kept them. So you're saying, what, John? Why are you hating on Gotti? Yo, Gotti, he seems to have done it absolutely right, isn't it? Is exactly what you're talking about. He's got these other businesses. He's got his record label. He's got, I think, a fashion design business, a marketing business. And when he's in the studio, he's 200% all in, working with his artists, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Why you have a problem with him? Because my man thought you didn't have to pay property taxes. He thought because you paid, now mind you, there's a compliment coming for him now. Uh, he didn't do it like Mike Epps. Mike Epps took the time to understand the game of real estate on the front end, but I'm gonna give Yo Gotti credit because he caught it on the back end. He almost caught a falling knife, but he turned it into a butter knife and put some bread and some butter on his bread at the end. So he had bought 15 homes, as I understand it. I understand because I don't know him personally. So I'm telling you what I think I understand. He bought 15 homes cash and assumed and presumed that because he bought them cash, he did not have to pay property taxes. Wrong. And so he almost lost all 15 homes because the city and or county and or municipality for which the homes were in wanted their portion of the proceeds. Now, I want you to remember how they got Al Capone. They didn't get Al Capone for murder and mayhem and all the stuff that he no doubt had done illegally. They couldn't catch him on any of that stuff and make it stick. They got Al Capone on tax evasion. That's right. They sent him to prison on tax evasion. This is not tax evasion. This is I didn't pay my taxes on some real estate. So they're not going to put you in jail for this piece. This is not personal income tax you're evading. This is I didn't pay my property taxes on the home that I own. They just take the house. They sell it on the courtyard steps for often pennies on the dollar. And this is how a lot of black folks have lost property going back decades now are tax defaults. Property tax defaults is actually a business that somebody listening to this will think about going into in the city or county that they live in. where somebody's not already in that business, and it, and there's just too much competition. But researching homes that are the owners that have not paid their property taxes and being willing to buy the debt, buy the property tax, pay it off, and buy that property tax bill. If that property tax owner, in fact, it's happened to me before, by the way. Supposedly, I'm the financial literacy expert, and I had a piece of property that I end up a days from allowing somebody to buy my tax bill because I didn't see the notices in the mail, um, and because I was transitioning that particular property and with another one, and I didn't see the notice in the mail, and it was a period when I was really busy. So this is not just a, a, a situation with rappers. This is me, and I, I was days away from having to deal with somebody who had a bit too much leverage for my taste on my own property. I paid the property tax and, of course, was able to retain my ownership. Yo Gotti's situation is a little different. He just assumed and presumed, and whenever you assume, well, I can't say that on air, but you make an ASS out of you and me, right? Um, so you should never assume anything. Never assume or presume. Always be nosy. Quincy Jones, my friend, my mentor. How'd you get so smart? I'm just nosy as hell, John. I want to know everything about everything. I want you to be nosy about real estate. I want you to get into the details. You can't generalize on this topic. It's really important to dive into the details. And so my man bought these homes, rehabbed them, did it right. Looks like he bought right, owned these beautiful homes, and almost lost everything. And before it was too late, it appears he was able to correct his ways and learn from them because rainbows only follow storms. So I commend the brother for owning his mistake, and then making it right. And now the homes are his to accumulate for the rest of his life as long as he pays his annual property taxes. Now, if you live outside the United States or if you're buying real estate outside the United States, that's a different situation. You got to check the property tax laws in that area. There's an area I bought some property in another country, and I'll be specific, Turks and Caicos, and you only have to pay property taxes when you buy the property. It's called a stamp a stamp tax. You buy the property, you pay the stamp tax at closing is 10% of the purchase price, and you don't pay another tax tied to that property for the life of that property. And I don't actually think that's the best deal for the government. I think they should uh, get more than that, but it's a great deal for the investor, and I'm willing to allow the advantage on my side until they update their systems. But I really think they should be charging me more. I hope they don't listen to this. So young Gotti got off without having to catch a falling knife. He turned his lesson into an opportunity to know more, so he can do more and accumulate hopefully not only 15 homes but hopefully 150 homes over time, and become a successful real estate investor. So I commend the brother for owning the mistake, learning from it, and even being public about it so that he can teach, well, you and me. All right. This is John O'Brien, and this is my trending topic of the week.